the breeze flows. It often tells us that we are alive. It can deliver to us the news, the advent of spring, benefits from nature, and even the change of period. The times we are A-Changin. Today is the last day for you to have your own mind.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Yuki HAMADA, and I'm a navigator of this film. See, the statement in this film is to destroy your stereotype. We often have an imagination for everything. However, it starts from one point that you don't know about them. The time flows and changes its figure constantly. It is no good to think of something from a few ideas, while we continue to have the old idea. Let me show you a new story in Nagasaki. I hope you have revolution in your mind through this film. First of all, I have one question. What image do you have in Nagasaki? I did a questionnaire. Targets were 88 members of my friends in立命館University pharmacy majoring, whose house tables having foreign culture. Cultural points were very famous in Nagasaki. However, there are few scientific points in Nagasaki. At my phone, and speaking severely, it seems war. Therefore, I will talk about scientific topics in Nagasaki.
This is a famous comic, Dragon. This comic was written several decades ago. According to one page, there are no dinosaurs in Japan. However, this idea is changing for decades. In 2014, there was a great discovery. Two tooth fossils of the Tyrannosaurus family were found by Fukui Prefectural Dinosaur Museum, FPDM. The most amazing fact about this discovery was they belonged to a dinosaur of the largest size. These fossils were found in the soil level that corresponded to 81 million years ago, in the Mitsui Coast. The fossil of a dinosaur had already been found in this area, but the owner's size was assumed to be middle or small. However, this time it was 72 mm high, 38 mm wide, 27 mm thick. Estimated and calculated from this, the owner was assumed to be in the category of large species of the Tyrannosaurus family without doubt. These fossils lead us to assume that the owner might be over 10 meters in length. A Tyrannosaurus is one of the most famous dinosaurs, and we often see them on the cover page of any dinosaur encyclopedia. Have you imagined the fact that they actually walked on the earth once upon a time?
Unfortunately, Fukui Prefectural Dinosaur Museum doesn't have the fossil, and it is in Nagasaki Science Museum. It is in the spotlight of study, therefore we couldn't show the correct one. Instead, I take one of fossils. The owner dinosaur is Carcharodontosaurus, lived in Cretaceous period, found in Morocco. It has 4.0 cm height, 2.5 cm wideness, and 1.5 cm depth. If considered that the owner were here, we would feel death. However, the similar one was here. Japan was the kingdom of dinosaurs, no one denies. To deepen my research, I could do an interview. Teppei Sonoda, a researcher in FPDM, answered like this.
Nagasaki have found many fossils, however, the samples are not so much as is often the case in dinosaurs. This is because the first fossil in Nagasaki a few years ago. Fossils of dinosaurs have been discovered in a lot of places in Japan. Multiples this topic, and news in Mukawa City in Hokkaido Prefecture is interesting involve many people.
And I questioned as a researcher, how did you feel this topic when the fact was appeared? According to him, this answer is also my individual opinion. I assume that a lot of researchers imagine this incident. In some eras when dinosaurs lived in Japan, there was no Sea of Japan, and the areas seemed to present Japan were parts of Eurasia continent. Therefore, we can suspect or expect that the creature's fossils have association with those which in east side in China. Lastly, to investigate dinosaurs is an elegant science, and the stereotypes are just hypotheses which we take for granted. Based on it, I consider that these stereotypes are going to be changed with new facts. I remember that the fact that feathers of Tyrannosaurus family are family with big scale body. Moreover, what surprised me is the fact that feathers of not only own a cis-gear, but also pterodopa. What did you think about this topic? This topic is too hot to research deeply, but the impression is astonishing enough to destroy your idea against the dinosaur and Nagasaki. I hope so. The next topic is Battleship Island. To become one of World Heritage, it has been more famous. But I wonder whether you hear people's life in this island.
The Grasses Bridge. This is very famous for sightseeing and locates a central area in Nagasaki City. It became one of parts in the people's life. It implies the cooperative life with people. Mount Unzen. The another name is Heisei Shinzan. It suffers for eruption and disaster. However, the great of nature gives us not only hardness but also the opportunity to enrich our lives. Same to them, Battleship Island gives us the chance by coal. For hardness, what factor suffers people in life? Water. Around 1940s, the amount of coal increased constantly. On the other view, it meant the increase of population in the island. Around 3,000 people lived in, but there was no spot to supply water for people's life. To solve this issue, Nagasaki City transported to supply water by ships. Those days, one of these ships called Asahigo for people in island. They could carry 350 tons of water. They commuted for 3 times. However, this strategy had limits. Finally, the population became over 4,000, and the density of population was over 9 times higher than that in Tokyo at that time. The way to use ship was no ability to adapt the increasing population. In the circumstance of hardness, the man made decision, a great project to protect people's life. From 1947, construction was started. The request was by people in Nagasaki City anxious about the increased population. Of course, it was not easy because it should not stop the sequence of core excavation work. It took 3 years and people's life was protected. The length of water pipe is 6.5 kilometers. It is said that the longest record in the world. Japanese men could attain the great enterprise. This pipe had supported for some decades until the mine closed. People could enrich their lifestyle. From 1940s to 1950s, people needed to be supplied water. Because of the hardness, I suppose that they could overcome and get better lifestyle. We can watch the humanity and progressness of the science and industry a little. Do you enjoy my film? Though you knew some stories, you did hear stories you don't know, definitely. At least, I assume that you changed your stereotype about Nagasaki. I hope you have another sense in traveling to or talking with many people about Nagasaki. Not only Nagasaki. I want you to take new pieces of information for everything. The time is finished. But don't forget, the times we are A-Changin. Yes. See you next time when new breeze flows.